magnificent.
Well, on just not even this album, just all your albums, man. You've been doing phenomenal since day one as a solo artist, man. Congratulations, man.
Thanks a lot, man. Word up.
How's it feel at this point, man? Still having fun?
It feel good. You know, there's a lot of demons that come at you after a while. You know what I mean? Male and female.
Right.
But overall,
that's cool.
You gotta kind of like just try to, you know, just dust that off. As KRS would say.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? And just try to keep it moving and focus primarily on what got you to that point in the first place.
Right. And what do you feel about fame, man? You enjoy fame?
It's cool, but
does it get hard?
I don't know. If I don't think I'd have did this as like to this extreme if I'd have knew what all the things that would have came with it. You know what I'm saying? Because to a degree, it's like you got the whole happy side of the side that the world get to see in the platinum successes and the hot stage shows.
Right.
You know, you getting to eat properly and secure the meals for the family. But then on the flip side of that, you got a lot of those master schemers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they be plotting real, you know, intricate ways of being able to latch on.
Right. What do you hate about fame? What part of it?
I hate that the most. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because it could be anything between people that you meet for the first time and people that you knew for 9-10 years.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you just get caught up in webs sometimes and you just gotta watch them characters that you be amongst and pretty much just figure your way through all of that so that nothing can still affect what got you to that point for them to even want to latch on in the first place.
Right. How do you deal with like how does Busta Rhymes deal with stress? Because I know, like, I'm gonna tell you right, like, for me, like, this job is real minimal to the scale that you're at, but it's stressful for me, man, at times where it's just like you just can't please every single person, man. It's tough, man.
Definitely.
There's days I go home with a headache, man. Like, man, I just can't please everybody, and people get mad. And I'm sure on your level, it must be 50 times more than what my situation is. I mean, how do you deal with that situation?
I mean, I freak out sometimes. Don't get me wrong. I'm running around in the room and, you know, scream and bang heads against the wall and, you know, call my closest peoples on the phone and be like, yo, I need some suggestions.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going through it. Especially when you got those that try to relentlessly attack because they feel you in a position where it ain't nothing to get at you like that.
Right.
So at the end of the day, you still make them things that got you to that point in the first place.
Right.
Focus on that, them hot joints.
Right.
At the end of the day, the greatest punishment is for you to not ever fail. To all those trying to get at it.
Right. You know, you said something on MTV when I was watching you a while back, and it's like, you know, I at times catch things from certain people, and I take them from my own. You know, I take them and I go, yeah, you know, I relate to that. You said something. You said there was no plan B for me. It's this. And I gotta make this happen. Either I make it happen or I just don't, but there's not a don't to it. And I just after I thought about it, I said, you know, I have to think like that too. It's just not a plan B. This has gotta be it. But I really, you know, that was a very good comment. It really woke me up. I'm sure a lot of people probably went over their head and didn't understand that situation. But let me ask you this. You think money changes people or money changes you or it changes the people around you?
A little bit of both. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because, you know, as you get in the position to provide, you know what I'm saying, it starts to create, it comes with a situation of other circumstances that put you in the position to now be held accountable and responsible for a lot of other lives and people that, you know, those relationships never costed you as much in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So, like, the initial plan is to never get blood sucked by the people who claim they love you and that you love the most.
Right.
But, you know, you usually end up in situations where, you know, people are front, male and female.
Right.
They'll get at you at the most vulnerable state and blood suck.
That's right, man, no doubt. Check it out, we got Busta Rhymes in the house. ELE Extension Level Event is the name of the album. It is out in stores right now. Let's get into the title track from
Platinum, baby.
That's right. Going on double.
All right.
The beat, y'all.
Flip.
Busta Rhymes in the house, 90 Black Bomb, 92.3. It is out in stores or out, but you already know that. Hey, Buzz, let me ask you this, man. At the end of the day, are you concerned with the amount of record sales that you will sell, or are you just concerned with the product that you put out?
Well, the product primarily, because the product sells itself. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
People buy the heat. If it ain't the heat, it ain't gonna sell. Regardless what. Right. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you this, man, because when I think of Busta Rhymes, you seem like in New York, it's a lot of cliques that are putting records out, but it seems like Busta Rhymes is a self-contained unit that is like. And then when I seen you in New York last time, I noticed that you're very, I'm doing this, I gotta do this, you're very on your own, handling business on the phone by yourself. A lot of cats, they sell a million records, they just chilling. I'm cool, man, I ain't gotta do this interview or that interview or whatever. But like for you, what is the secret to that? What is the Busta Rhymes secret? Is it just being on the phone, handling business and not getting lazy, or what is the whole thing about being able to sell millions of records like that?
I don't know. I just think it's like this. I think it's a blessing in a major way, because there's a lot of hot hip hop out here that ain't selling.
Yeah,
but it's still hot though. You know what I'm saying? So I guess after going through that era of my own hands-on experience in my career, putting out joints that I thought was hot and it didn't sell. I got an opportunity to travel in the process and learn what people is feeling and what kind of bounce generally makes people bounce. Regardless how freaky you approach things on a creative level or how different, as long as you work in the general parameter of the bounce that people enjoy bouncing to. It's like a certain tempo, and it's like a certain pace, and it's a certain feel, and it's a certain vibe, and you can capture that in so many different ways creatively. That's why you can get a lot of hot club records, because there's a lot of different artists that can approach that same energy of high intense bounce in different ways. And I just think that I try to keep in tune with the many different ways, because there's always hot hip hop. And as long as I keep my ear close to what the current hot flavor is, that helps me not only maintain my current heat, but it helps me understand where I'm gonna take it from that point.
You think artists should be more aggressive when it comes to label stuff? Because and I'm not trying to diss the label Elektra, but they've attempted to put rap records out, and you're the thing that's really blown up for them. You know what I'm saying? Busta Rhymes always boom, came out platinum, double platinum. Do you think you got to jump in and be more aggressive? Y'all got to do this, and y'all just, because some artists just like that I know personally just, all right, I'm just stay home, wait for them to call me or whatever. Are you more aggressive when it comes to that situation?
Yeah, I'm pretty much trying to just make sure that I know the reason why something didn't work successfully.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? If something ain't gonna work, I at least want to know why. I feel like sometimes if I don't take the initiative to find out myself what's going on, weeks will go by at a time where an abundance of problems can accumulate. And then you hear about it after the fact, when certain problems just can't get fixed at the time that you're finding out. So, I just try to keep abrupt, so that at least I always am in tune with the latest, greatest going on with what I can know about is going to have an effect on my career.
Let me ask you, do you think if you were not from New York, you would have still been does New York give you that situation to make you Busta Rhymes? You think if you would have came from Connecticut, you would have still been the same Busta Rhymes, and it would have still been the same outcome for this records and all that?
Certain things would have been the same, and certain things would have been different, I think, because your environment is what you absorb, the know-how as far as your living condition. That's where that comes from. So I don't know if the determination and the persistence would have probably been at the same level of intensity if I wasn't living in the same environment. You know what I'm saying? You function based on your comfort level in life, you know what I mean? And if I'm trying to get it the way I want to get it, there's a certain thing that I have to give off and contribute to what I want back in return.
Right.
And I want a lot back, so I give it a lot. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. That's right. Well, check it out. We got Busta Rhymes in the house. ELE Extension Level Event is the name of the album. It's out in stores right now. Let me get in cut 16.
Yeah.
Hot making you bounce.
It bounce. 1, 2. Crowd around in large amounts. Flip mode squad, LA.
Right,
we live and direct in the spot. Live authentic street corner hip hop. 92.3 Julio G.
Yeah. It's the beat, y'all. And you ever gonna jump into doing your own stuff? I mean, I know you like done a lot with hype, but are you gonna jump into just are we gonna see Busta Rhymes videos directed just by Busta Rhymes that coming soon?
Yeah, see, the thing about it, with what I'm trying to do as far as an exclusive solo directed video is a budget has to be allocated at a sufficient amount for me to really be able to pull off an idea completely the way I want to. You know what I'm saying? So the first video that had that kind of budget was the video with Janet. But at the same time, being that it was the first one with that kind of budget, I didn't want to not use all the dollars in that budget cost effectively.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because usually with every video you shoot, you know, just running a couple of hours overtime is mad G's in overages. You know what I'm saying? And when you're already spending a lot, you don't need no overages whatsoever. So I wanted to make sure that I work real close with somebody that's going to help make sure that that schedule is executed and carried out
and everything,
properly, and that's hype.
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And it's production company HSI. So, you know, I got to big them up real quick because, you know, that video was phenomenal.
Now, I'm ready to hear that. I'm ready. What day is this film coming out on
World
TV?
premiere is on March 12th.
Whew.
So we gonna blast off crazy.
That's right. Let me ask you this, man. I mean, from all the success.
Fact, I definitely got to big up Janet. You know what I'm saying? Because she definitely gave me so much love and support.
Right.
And embraced the whole situation like it was her own. So, you know, I appreciate all of that love from Janet. And I appreciate all the love from her management team and her staff. And just the whole thing was just proper. And that's not just a politically correct thing I'm trying to throw at.
Right.
You know, her and her people, it's just that's the love they gave us for.
Definitely. You know, I was checking out something on the box. I was watching something, and I had seen I don't know if you're familiar with the group Garbage.
Yeah, no doubt.
I'm a big fan of them.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
So, and I heard them say, they asked them, who would you like to work with? And they said Busta Rhymes, and we could ever really catch up to that guy, but everybody's trying to work with him.
That's what you needed to tell me. We gonna watch that manifest now.
That's right, man.
Word up.
Let me ask you this about...
Big them up, too, real quick.
Yeah, Garbage is hot, man. I'm a big fan of Garbage, man.
Word is wrong.
Let me ask you this. Do you think that you've crossed over to fans or fans came to you?
I don't never really know why that's an issue in a way, because I think, like, I never felt like in the slightest way have I not represented the rawness in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Even with me and Ozzy, you know what I'm saying? If you put a hip hop beat under them lyrics, you would have never knew that I wrote that for a rock joint. You know what I'm saying? I don't ever feel like I compromise hip hop to blast off, even on a universally appealing level. You know what I'm saying? So I think more so that the joints that I try to keep from doing is the sound alike joints. Like I don't try to sound like another artist. You know what I'm saying? So I think for me, like, it was kind of like a meet each other halfway, because I'm trying to make joints so that I could at least have the fans feel like I'm doing this for them. You know what I'm saying? And then they come to that and embrace that. You know what I'm saying? So I think it was like a hand-in-hand kind of, you know, meet me halfway thing.
Let me ask you about this, man. I don't think that people have really gotten that far deep into kind of like the titles of the albums and the pictures. And I think we just get, you know, we hear the songs, you know what I mean? And the videos is hot and it's kind of funny. He does good stuff, you know, this and that. But, like, explain, like, because I know, like, when I look at when Disaster Strikes and now I'm looking at Extinction Level Event, those titles don't really go with, like, what we're trying to see on Busta Rhymes. I don't think people have caught up. They just think, oh, it's a cool album, Extinction Level Event. I mean, like, break down when Disaster Strikes, what was that story about? I mean, what was that album about?
The Coming was like just the warning.
Like The Coming, I'm sorry, the Coming, yeah.
Yeah, that was the first solo album. That was just like the warning, or like I was trying to let people know that the coming of Busta Rhymes as a solo artist is happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm forewarning y'all that that's going to be an event for y'all.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm gonna make sure that that's worth everybody's while. And then I also wanted people to know that the coming of a new time frame was approaching rapidly, and that's when I was hitting y'all with the countdown and everything remains raw, screaming at the end of the record, there's only 5 years left.
Right.
You know, when disaster strikes in the intro, you know, I got that there's only 2.5 years left. You know, because I had dropped the album in 97,
right,
like the middle of 97, early 97. Middle, I think like the end of 97, like fall, like sometime in September. In any event, you know, that album was just like the signs of the times was manifested. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And like when disaster strikes were the little things that were happening that were kind of disastrous. That I didn't know exactly was going to take place, but I just felt as we approached that turning point in time closer, you know, things are gonna, you know, happen in a significant manner that would, you know, be marked as monuments to make this time frame a big deal. You know what I'm saying? So then we had Tupac dying, and we had Big dying, and we had Princess Diana dying, and we had Versace dying, and it was like
sign of the times,
it was like it ain't just regular civilians suffering in a disastrous way no more.
Right.
It's like people of high caliber is going through it on a real major tragedy level also, and like I just felt like, you know, the extinction level now is going to, you know, it's going to get real ill now, because everything after that only gets, you know, extreme to the max.
Because it's ELE, Extinction Level Event, the final world front.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm saying, like, I don't think a lot of people have really read into that. Like, what's that story about?
That's just basically saying that the final days of the 20th century as we know it is approaching, like, rapidly, and time ain't waiting for nobody. So, you know, just in the general sense in itself, you know, just capitalize on all the opportunities as we see them still existing right now, because ain't nothing promised in the next time frame, because we ain't lived that time frame to know what's guaranteed and what ain't. But you know, ain't nothing guaranteed now. So you know, it ain't like you're supposed to panic and run around like, you know, the world is about to fall and end. But you know, I just think there's a lot of potential realities that, what if certain potential realities that we know about really jumps off. The effect that they can have, and to a degree, it can have an effect that we might not even be capable of dealing with.
Let me ask you, why did you choose to do that on the albums? Because I mean, you could have just called the album Coming Out and Busta Rhymes 2, Busta Rhymes 3. I mean, why'd you choose to say, I'm gonna try to just give a little subliminal message to people if they can pick it up?
I don't know. I just guess that was what was intriguing to me at the time, when, like, even from when Leaders of the New School, because, you know, the second Leaders album was called Time, the Inner Mind's Eye. Time will tell, you know what I'm saying? So that whole time significant thing was real, like, intriguing to me. You know what I'm saying? And I always felt like there's always something that goes on that we don't really get an opportunity to focus on even a little bit, because we get so caught up in the trivial day-to-day BS.
Right.
The meeting the bills at the end of the month is the primary focus for everyone's day-to-day. So like all the other objects and obstacles that affect us in ways that we don't see coming because we ain't focusing on them things is something that I like throwing up in the air sometimes, so that we could all look at it while it's up there like, yo, damn, son, I ain't know that was going on, and I ain't know that was going on, and what if this goes down, and what if that goes down? You know what I mean? So it's like, that's just where I stand.
That's good for you, man. That's good that you're doing it. I want to ask you this real quick. I mean, do you feel? Oh, I'll ask you this question because we're running out of time. I'm gonna ask you this. Do you feel that artists like yourself or whoever it may be, do you feel that after you become successful to a certain extent, do you feel that you owe back to the community that you came from, or do you feel that it should be like, hey, I worked hard for mine. I'm the one that got up every day in the morning. I don't have to owe nobody just because they standing on the corner if they didn't want to do something. I mean, do you feel that way, or you feel that you're supposed to give something back to where you came from? What do you feel about that?
I think first and foremost, when you get to that point, you take care of your family. You know what I'm saying? Like that's primary to me. You know, taking care of my family, because even when I ain't have nothing and community didn't have a reason to support me, you know what I'm saying? My family did. So I give back to my family first and foremost, and then in my neighborhood, You know, I give to those that are worthy of that blessing.
Right.
Because there's people that'll take that from you and just abuse it. And don't nothing productive come from you putting them on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of blood suckers, like we was referring to them earlier. You know what I'm saying? And they will sit there and wait for an opportunity to latch on when they really ain't got nothing to offer but that blood sucking.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you know, it's about using your discretion wisely as towards how you give back. You know what I'm saying? You might give a crackhead $1 because they look like they are the less fortunate. When that crackhead only gonna take that $1 to blaze it on some more crack instead of a decent meal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you gotta use your discretion wisely as towards how you give back.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's just how I see it.
Let me get into this right here before we run out of time. Extinction Level event, name of the album. Busta Rhymes in the house, 9 o'clock bomb. Brand new music with Janet Jackson. Y'all already been here. I told y'all there's gonna be something.
Flip mode, baby.
I'm magnificent.